Hi, Jamie Flinchball here, and let's talk about Mondays. There's an article I'm sharing from The Economist about Monday, and I'm going to talk a little bit about getting your week started and why Monday is so hated. I won't talk a lot about what's in this article. I will share a couple of bits. First, some people will say, well, why are you sharing stuff behind a firewall? Uh, sure, a lot of the best stuff on the internet is fine behind a firewall. And second, I believe more people should read The Economist. It's fantastic research, and perhaps the best way to stay well informed about what's going on around the world. So with that aside, let's talk about Mondays. It's obviously often a hated day. In the article, they talk about the song "I Don't Like Mondays," and even down here, they talk about Mondayitis, and how people feel about this. Uh, Certainly, we can feel how this works for people from a lot of standpoint, as people say, this is the opportunity to go through, as Robert Frost says. So, without getting into the article, whether Mondays are good or bad, here's how I think many are doing it wrong. There's sort of a goal for many people, especially those who desire to be high achievers. Maybe they haven't achieved their goals quite yet, but they say, I want to get out of the gates, right? A racing term, whether we're talking about a horse or out of the blocks, talking about running a sprint. And so we want to explode. We want to explode into the week and hit it running, right? And that's a great concept. It's a great analogy, but here's why it's wrong. A horse, right, or a sprinter does not begin their race in the blocks, in the gates. It begins, of course, with training and hydration and food, nutrition, and all those things. But we won't even talk about that. It begins with being both mentally prepared and physically warming up. The race begins, not just days before, weeks before, but begins, minutes or a couple hours before the race actually begins. So your race is not jumping out of the blocks with at 100 miles an hour. It is preparing to get out of the blocks at a high rate of speed. And so fundamentally, I think anyone operating under the premise that they are going to hit the work week with a bang, out of the gates, out of the blocks, full speed, has it wrong. You really need to build up your work, your intentions. You need to be limber mentally, perhaps even physically. You have to have a clear plan for how you're going to operate throughout the week. And so for some, that happens on Sunday, which really just extends the beginning of the work week into Sunday. So if that's not your preference, as it probably shouldn't be, then how are you spending your Monday mornings? Should it be planning, a bit of reflection, some organization, even some exercises to make sure your brain is limber, that you're thinking about goals, thinking about strategy, thinking about clear intentions? So when you want to start out of the gates, start like a racer does, start like a high performer does. And that begins with all the preparation. So when that firing gun starts, maybe not on 8 a.m. on Monday, but maybe at 10 a.m., maybe even on Tuesday, that by then we've done all the preparation work to really run the race we need to run. That's how we should be starting our week and thinking about Mondays differently so that we can be productive the whole week through. Thank you for listening and good luck. Happy Monday.